Good morning. In Washington, D.C., where power is brokered, a new kind of battle is unfolding, one fought in cyberspace. Wiley Rein, a powerhouse law firm, has become the center of a major international cyber incident. This wasn't a physical break-in, but a sophisticated digital intrusion with serious implications for American business and national security. Hackers, believed to be linked to the Chinese government, quietly breached the firm's systems, raising alarms across legal and political circles. The attackers weren't after credit cards. They wanted confidential legal strategies and privileged communications at the heart of the U.S.-China trade war. This breach exposes a new reality. Law firms, once fortresses of client privilege, are now prime targets in global cyber espionage. The Wiley Rein hack is a stark warning. America's legal secrets are now in the crosshairs of international conflict. To grasp the significance of this hack, you need to know what Wiley Rein represents. Just blocks from the White House, Wiley Rein is a legal and policy powerhouse, representing Fortune 500 giants and shaping national policy. Their international trade team is on the front lines of the U.S.-China economic conflict, advising companies on tariffs, trade rules, and government investigations. These lawyers are the architects of America's economic defense, making the firm a goldmine for foreign intelligence. Imagine having a wiretap in the strategy room of the Super Bowl. Access to Wiley Rein's emails offers that kind of advantage in the trade war. Their communications hold sensitive details about corporate vulnerabilities, legal strategies, and confidential advice to U.S. officials. For China, this is a direct window into America's economic playbook. Wiley Rein's deep Washington connections, once a selling point, have now made it a target. The hackers weren't just after a law firm, they were after a nerve center of American trade policy. By breaching Wiley Rein, they aim to compromise a trusted advisor to both industry and government. This is about gaining a strategic edge in a global conflict increasingly fought with data, not just dollars. The attack underscores how the legal world has become a new front in international espionage. The Wiley Rein breach was a stealth operation, not a smash and grab. Hackers infiltrated Microsoft 365 email accounts of key attorneys, exploiting the weakest link individual users. Once inside, they quietly read and downloaded sensitive messages, avoiding detection. The timing was no accident. This happened during a peak in U.S.-China trade tensions, right after new tariffs were imposed. Intelligence was the real prize. The hackers targeted emails about trade negotiations, U.S. policy on Taiwan, and government agencies overseeing national security. This was no random data theft. It was a focused hunt for strategic intelligence to inform Beijing's next moves. The full extent of what was stolen is still under investigation, but the potential damage is huge. These accounts could reveal privileged legal advice, draft trade documents, and candid political assessments. For China, this information is a roadmap to U.S. strategy and vulnerabilities. The attack shows how espionage has evolved. Keystrokes and passwords have replaced cloaks and daggers. The digital battlefield is now where the most valuable secrets are at risk. Once the breach was discovered, Wiley Rein acted fast to contain the damage. They brought in Mandiant, a top cybersecurity firm, to identify compromised accounts and restore network integrity. The firm also reported the incident to U.S. law enforcement, triggering an FBI-led investigation. Mandiant's experts combed through digital evidence, tracing the hackers' steps and assessing what was accessed. The FBI worked in parallel, seeking to determine if this was part of a larger campaign linked to China. Wiley Rein faced a delicate task informing clients, cooperating with investigators, and rebuilding trust. The incident forced the legal industry to confront a hard truth. Protecting client data now demands world-class cybersecurity. In today's world, legal expertise must be matched by digital defense. As suspicion turned to Beijing, China's response was swift and predictable. The Chinese government flatly denied involvement, claiming it too is a victim of cyber attacks and opposes all forms of cybercrime. Chinese officials dismissed the accusations as baseless and politically motivated, demanding concrete evidence. This is a familiar script. China routinely frames such allegations as U.S. attempts to smear its reputation and contain its rise. The diplomatic back and forth rarely changes the underlying reality. U.S. officials rely on technical forensics and intelligence, not public statements, to draw their conclusions. The denials are seen as diplomatic posturing in a long-running cyber espionage standoff. Admitting to such operations would undermine China's international standing, so the stalemate continues. For American investigators, the public denials are expected and do little to alter their assessment. The real battle plays out in the shadows, far from the press conferences. The Wiley Rein hack is just the latest in a long line of suspected Chinese cyber espionage against U.S. institutions. American intelligence has tracked a persistent campaign to steal intellectual property, trade secrets, and government data. Earlier in 2025, Chinese hackers reportedly breached CFIUS, the office that reviews foreign investments for national security risks. In 2024, the FBI exposed Volt Typhoon, a Chinese campaign targeting critical U.S. infrastructure and even senior leaders' communications. These attacks aim to gather intelligence and pre-position malicious code for future crises. Over the past decade, Chinese groups have hit government agencies, healthcare companies, and defense contractors, always targeting strategic data. The Wiley Rein breach is simply the latest chapter in this ongoing saga of digital espionage. Washington's concern goes far beyond one law firm. The U.S. sees these cyber attacks as a direct threat to economic strength and national security. FBI Director Christopher Wray has warned that China's hacking program dwarfs those of other nations. This isn't just spying, it's a systematic effort to erode America's advantages and steal the fruits of innovation. Stolen trade secrets let Chinese companies leapfrog years of research, undermining U.S. industries and costing jobs. The targeting of defense contractors and critical infrastructure reveals ambitions beyond economics. This is about military and political leverage. Campaigns like Volt Typhoon suggest hackers are preparing for future conflict, not just gathering intelligence. The U.S. response includes stronger cybersecurity, new laws, indictments, and blocking risky foreign investments. It's a whole-of-government effort to counter a persistent, multifaceted threat from Beijing. The stakes are nothing less than America's economic and strategic future. The Wiley Rein hack exposes a critical vulnerability for the entire legal profession. Law firms are trusted with their clients' deepest secrets, protected by attorney-client privilege. But in the digital age, those secrets are stored on servers and sent by email, making them prime targets for hackers. A breach can devastate clients, derail deals, and destroy trust. The fallout isn't just about lost data, it's about the collapse of legal and business strategies. Successful attacks create a chilling effect. If clients fear their secrets aren't safe, they may hold back vital information. This undermines effective decision-making and strategic planning. The legal industry is being forced to prioritize cybersecurity as a core duty, not just an IT issue. Firms must invest in advanced security, regular audits, and staff training to spot threats. Law firms are now on the front lines of a digital war, and their ability to protect secrets will define their reputation. The future of legal practice depends on both legal acumen and digital resilience. The Wiley Rein breach signals a new era. Geopolitical competition is now waged in cyberspace. The lines between war, peace, and business are blurring, with law firms and private companies in the crosshairs. As U.S.-China tensions persist, these attacks will only grow more frequent and sophisticated. Organizations at the intersection of business and policy are now high-value targets, often less defended than government networks. The U.S. response will involve closer public-private cooperation, stronger cyber defenses, and new economic tools to deter state-sponsored hacking. The Wiley Rein hack is a wake-up call. Cybersecurity is now a central strategic issue for every organization handling sensitive information. In this new era, the strength of our institutions depends as much on digital defenses as on legal expertise.